Hello everybody, we are here. It is day 2 of our whole life coach certification course, and we have a really wonderful group of people here with us. There's I think 13 students. So today we're going over how we treat our clients, patients whenever they come into our clinic. So when our client comes in, of course, first thing we do is greet them. If they're a new client, we would have them fill out any intake forms, the liability forms, whatever it might be, depending on what they're coming for, or a consultation form, and then getting them really relaxed and calm, in a calm state. We have them sit in the treatment room with calming music on so they can just enjoy their drink before we begin. And before we even get into the actual treatments, we do some pre-care. And this really helps because it's getting everybody in the parasympathetic state, and that is the key to healing. Whenever you're in a sympathetic state, you're never going to get full, true healing because you're not able to relax and breathe into it. So what we do to get people into the parasympathetic state, we start with belly button therapy. So we did post a video about this on Facebook a few days ago. And so if you want the full scoop on how to do the belly button therapy, it is in full detail on that video. Otherwise, check out this one and stay tuned because I'm going to show exactly what we do right now. So first things first, we would stretch, and I'm not going to show that. Like I said in the other video, we go through the full thing. But the reason we stretch prior to doing the belly button therapy is because we want to see where our range of motion is. We want to see where we have pain, inflammation, where we might have some creaking and cracking, and we're just really going to get in tune with our body and see where we're at. And then we do the belly button therapy after that. So to do the belly button therapy, we want to get into our lion heart breathing. So really focus on our breath, and 6 seconds in, hold for one second for still point, and then release for 7 seconds. And we're going to bring the belly button wand into our belly button, and we just and so I'm just pushing in straight first, and this is so amazing. Our belly button is our first source of life. So this is where we were first fed, so it is the root of all of our energy. It will stimulate 70% of your serotonin to get dumped because we produce that in our gut, and 50% of our dopamine. So by doing this, we're getting our daily dose, so dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And after we do straight in, we're going to come on an angle, coming down towards our cecum, right hip area. And you really want to angle it down. Like you can see, I'm not just like straight in still, I'm angling it down. So I'm going through my belly button and triggering different parts of my digestive tract. So just still focusing on that breathing. And this is really amazing for any digestive problems, of course, too, because we're really pulling any abdominal adhesions apart. We are stimulating the whole GI tract to really get that peristalsis moving again. And we're just loosening everything up because everything gets so tight and contracted. So we want to really focus on being loose and free and just have that energy flowing throughout our whole digestive tract, which is our immune system. So it's the most important area. If we don't have this in balance, nothing else in our body is going to be balanced. So after we do straight down towards the cecum, we're going to come up towards the right rib cage, so the hepatic flexor. And again, I'm in my belly button and I'm angling it now up. So know how it was down like this before? Now it's coming up and getting underneath, because you want to get underneath that flexor and getting through that transverse colon. And I'm playing different angles when I do it because I don't want to just go straight in one spot, because I want to be able to, just like when we do the deep tissue therapy, we always are playing different angles because you're going to feel different things when you're going at it from a different angle. And then we're going to come straight up towards the sternum. And I'm going to just move through this a little quicker. Like I said, there's the longer video already on there. So then we'll come up towards the left rib cage.
We're also putting out a professional one in 6 days. Yeah,
in 6 days there'll be a professional one that we shot. So you can check that out. It'll be posted as a Dr. Detox show. So on Dr. Detox show, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, it'll all be there for you to see. And then we do have our masterclass coming soon too. It's going to be done in the next couple weeks here, so stay tuned for that. The A to Z Wellness Guide, you'll find it in the library.
There'll be 42 different videos.
Yes, it was a long shoot that we did. And then we're going to come down towards the sigmoid. And that's towards the left hip. And then after you do that, you would just go straight down towards the bladder. And once you're finished that, you'd go straight in again to finish the full circle. And then you would stretch again, and that's when you're gonna really notice the improvement in your stretch, your range of motion, your pain and inflammation is gonna be subsided because you're in that parasympathetic state. Your body's gonna be more relaxed to move on to the rest of our therapies. So the next thing I'm going to show is the pelvic activation squat, but did anybody have any questions about belly button therapy?
Abby, if a person has bad bacteria or overgrowth of that, would that still release the same hormones that you need, that you're in a positive way?
Definitely, yeah. It's going to help with repopulating your good bacteria because you're stimulating it and helping it to function better. So those hormones are helping your good bacteria to.
There's a misconception out there.
Okay.
There's a misconception. We get medical, pharmaceutical mixed up with natural healing. Natural healing doesn't have any negatives. Somebody might detox a little fast, but that would never do that. And understand something, when you do something that is nature-based, not man-made, there are no life-threatening situations or negatives, or you better be aware of this. You'll never have to feel fearful of nature. So this is just stimulating your belly button, which is the most important button to push because it triggers your vagus nerve, which is your wandering nerve, which basically puts you into a parasympathetic healing state, which means anything good is going to be fed and anything that's negative is going to go dead.
And it's amazing too because it's creating a higher temperature too when you do it consistently. So as it raises your core body temperature by 1 or 2 degrees, disease and illnesses can't even be in your system after that. So it's going to reprogram all of your bacteria through everything. Yeah.
Will that help you also for better sleep?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Abby,
amazing.
repeat the question so Facebook.
Yeah, so she just asked if it would improve sleep, and definitely the belly button therapy is one of the best ways to put you to sleep because it's putting you in that parasympathetic state. We have people who do the belly button therapy and the Avicin before bed and even use the Bioptron light on their face, and they're out within like a couple of minutes. And they're people who struggle with sleep.
Yeah, people have struggled with sleep for
Yeah.
years. When they start doing our protocol, using the Avicin, even just the Avicin. But when you put the belly button therapy and the Avicin and light together, it's complete harmony. If you were harmonized and weren't in a sympathetic state, you wouldn't have a sleeping problem. Every sleeping disorder that they have, which is over a dozen now, are all from one thing: terrorizing yourself.
Any other questions?
Lori on Facebook says, what about scar tissue in the colon, like diverticulitis? So this breaks apart the scar tissue?
Yeah, well, what we're doing is we're pulling the adhesions apart. So everything's going to be adhering together. And with diverticulitis, it's going to help because we're going to help with stimulating the colon to get everything moving and get that proper energy flow in here. But it's really important if you do have diverticulitis that you really look at your diet, follow the perfect day, take a look at the daily cleansing tea, the tummy love, and coffee enemas, and then doing the belly button therapy as well will be amazing.
And just remember something: the reason why they have diverticulitis is because they're constipated.
Yeah,
All
gotta
right.
get everything
So
moving.
diarrhea is caused from constipation, and before they had diverticulitis, they just had diverticuli in their intestines, which means out pockets, because the poop has been stuck in there for so long it's eating holes through your large intestine.
All right, so I'm going to get to the activation squat. Just move my little platform over here. Okay. So for the squat, we're going to do 2 different variations. So the first one, we're going to have our feet angled out and get into our lion heart breathing. Shoulders back, spine straight, chin up. Smile with your eyes, slight smile on your face, as if there's a cord attached to your sternum, lifting it up to the sky. And then we'll come into a prayer, and then we squat down. And if holding a prayer is harder, you can go forward. And then you bring your elbows to your insides of your knees, and then you push your pelvis open. Let your low back relax behind you, so you kind of bring your SI joints, which are the little dimples that you'll see at your low back. Kind of want to bring those together as you're pulling your shoulder blades together. just relaxing into your heart. And then you just breathe into the stretch.
Welcome to opening up the main command center of energy. All right? So if you waddle already, you've got low back pain, you've got bladder infection, you've got ovarian uterus problems, you've got prostate problems, you better get squatting. And when they took away the toilet, they took away your power source, because you need to squat. And I'll squat at least 5 minutes 3 times a day.
Yeah, it's amazing. And honestly, it's like better stretch. Doing this in the pelvic expander has been more freeing for my hips than any yoga I've ever done in my life. So you get way more benefit from just doing this for 5 minutes and the pelvic expander for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. You're gonna get
yoga can't come near it.
Yeah,
yoga can't, and I'm not down in yoga because I do yoga, but I'm telling you, it can't come near it. Won't come near it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up. So coming back up, and then we're gonna just bring our feet forward. And this is harder because it's hard to keep your heels on the ground when you do it. So when your heels lift up, that's totally fine, but just breathe into it and really focus on putting your mind, especially in your calves and then through your Achilles tendons, because that's where it gets really tight. So just try to really relax those, that tendon and the muscles, and then you're gonna feel like your heels are gonna come down to the ground as you breathe into it. So same thing. There we go. Heels are a little lifted, and then try to bring my back as straight as possible, and elbows to my inner knees and pushing to open my pelvis.
It's really important that all of you therapists here and all of you that are taking the course, even if you're not taking the course to become a therapist, it's very important that you master this so that you can teach your family, your patients, your clients how to do this. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what treatment you're doing. It doesn't matter what treatment you're doing. You better get them into a parasympathetic state. Everybody comes to you in a sympathetic state. They're always rushing. Everybody's always rushing around. I'm going to go rush to even have a spa treatment. You know, so, you know, if you can teach people how to do the belly button therapy, the squat, and then have an expander table. And for those people that want to get the expander, pelvic expander board, or the belly button therapy kit, just go to soleilwellness.com. And you can call Dean Soleil. He makes them for us. We don't make any money. We don't make any money off of them. He sells them for you because we need to get them out there to people.
Yeah. So after that squat's done, we would do the pelvic expander, but I just want to let everybody know what I was feeling through this hip as I was doing it, especially with my feet forward. I could feel a band of scar tissue from the top of my iliac crest, and it came all the way down through the back of my ischial tuberosity, but then it's also coming forward down through my hip flexor. So I'm going to get Genevieve or somebody to work on this at some point today, and I won't have any problem after that.
That's it.
So I'm going to call on my beautiful client, Mary, and she's going to come show us how to do the pelvic expander.
You're gonna show us.
Come on down. Okay, so I'm going to have you sit on the table. Yeah, no, we're good. And then just come bring your bum all the way to the edge. Perfect. And you can bring one leg forward and up. All right.
Do the other leg first so people can see.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah, for the camera.
Yep, we only need to do one leg for them.
So,
And then just let them know about the other one.
there we go. Great. So we're gonna strap her leg in, and we want to strap it in so it's tight, but we don't want it to be uncomfortable for them. So how does that feel? It's fine. Good.
So the more that the knee has to be bent, the more problem there is in the pelvis and the hip. End of story. No, it's in my knee. No, it's in your pelvis and your hip.
How does that feel?
So eventually, be gentle, don't push hard, don't hurt yourself. Right, Abby?
Exactly. It's all about baby steps. So even with the weight, I am going to show how we would put this on. But if it was your first time doing the stretch, we wouldn't put the weight on the other ankle to pull this leg even further down. We would just leave it like this and allow her to breathe into the stretch.
Or if you are overweight or you waddle like a duck, then we would put a stool under the hanging leg so there's no pressure at all, because anybody that waddles like a duck or is overweight or has a belly and looks like they're even from 2 months to more pregnant and they're not, that's calcium crystallization in scar tissue, and we want to open it up gradually because they could rip out, because that's what everybody does when they get older, is they rip out because you're beef jerky. So we got to get the energy to flow, so let's do it with loving steps, and we will return you back the way you were.
You got it. And so I'm going to ask Mary to really breathe into her pelvis. So envision her mind in her pelvis and envision it opening up like a flower. And envision her hip flexor, all of the muscles just opening up. Imagine oxygen flowing through, energy flowing through, all the blood, all the lymph, and everything circulating.
And Abby, how far can the legs go?
How far would the legs go?
Yeah.
Always repeat the
Go.
question, Abby.
Yeah, so how far would the legs go?
Yes.
In what way do you mean?
And
Like to the
slow-
ground?
Yeah, to the ground.
So it depends on the height of the table. We could even lower the table more, so you could even rest your
Yes,
foot
yeah,
on the ground.
But she could go much lower.
Yeah,
than
yeah, she could bring it as low as she wants. When I do it, because I've been doing it for a while now,
you touch.
I've been tucking my foot behind here to even get a deeper stretch.
Yeah, okay.
So
In the beginning,
you don't want
if it feels like you're torturing yourself, back off.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, within 2 to 3 weeks for the average person, they will go, wow, I can't even get a feeling of any pressure anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what you just did? You just set your ovaries free.
But if you're flexible, you can just touch the ground there. Can you? I'm going to try it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll give it a try later and
Yeah.
see how we like it
Yeah.
and see how deep of a stretch we can get. All right, so I got the ankle weight strap
But that's
on.
not the objective.
No, and
No,
this
but
is a
if
3
you-
kilogram weight here. So we're just gonna bring this
Okay,
down, and I'm
speak-
gonna slowly just let the pressure of her leg take it down, and then leave it there. How does that feel, Mary?
Actually feels good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are you feeling, Mary?
Well, I definitely feel a stretch in the hamstring on my right side, and I feel a pull in my pelvis.
Yeah, and guess what? You want your pelvis pulled open because it's like this. The flower must open to get the sunshine.
And then I'm just gonna show the abs in here, because this is what we do.
Just unplug it, please.
This is what we would do with the therapy as well. So you would just slide your hand in. I'm not gonna turn it on or anything like that, but this is going to increase microcirculation by 66%. So we would do this for 15 minutes while she does, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes while she does this. And then the Bioptron light would be shining on her face as well. After we finish that 15-minute session, that's when we would switch the ankle weight to the other leg, put this leg up, and then we would actually come into a whole body stretch where I'll bring your arms back behind your head.
Okay.
And we want to just come back, and you can pull it just like that.
Yeah.
And you want your shoulders to really stay on the ground. So
You're looking to put your hands, keep your hands together and straight up like a steeple, and then breathe and focus on your elbows and shoulders eventually coming onto the table. Eventually.
Yeah.
And they
How
will
close am I?
eventually.
Your elbows are a couple, like 2 inches off, I'd say. And you can even come into a pose like this with your hands. Sometimes I'll do with my thumbs.
Whatever you like.
Yeah, and that just offers a deeper stretch. And you can do this at home. We have, like we were saying, SoleilWellness.com makes and sells the pelvic expander and the belly button therapy ones. So you can do this from home. All you need is those elements, the table, and you can do this every day. You could do each leg starting from 10 minutes, 15 minutes each, and working your way up to 30 to 40 minutes. That's what I do now. Is 30 minutes each leg, and it's absolutely incredible when it's done. I even had a bruise right by my quadricep tendon from probably an old soccer injury. There was probably a lot of scar tissue there. I'm not exactly sure, but I could feel it pull open as I was doing the stretch. And then I looked the next morning, I had a little bit of a bruise there. So that's a healing bruise. Those are the good bruises that are creating more flow and getting that energy moving through our bodies, because there was that physical block there that is now gone. Pretty cool.
Abby, with somebody that's first time doing it or that's larger, is it more important to have their but right against the board, and
Yeah.
their knee bent, or would it be more important to have their legs straight? Like,
So with larger people, so they might be more inflexible and just having more of a difficult time to get into the full stretch. So we just want to make it as comfortable for them as possible. So if they can bring their bum all the way to the edge so that their hip falls over properly, so
have
that
the leg
it's,
hanging.
yeah, and then it's okay if they have a
Yeah.
little bit of a bend.
The buttocks up to the board is
Yeah.
more important, and whatever the bend is in the leg at the beginning,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
do not compare yourself to anyone else.
No.
We're all amazing, and allow yourself to get there. And that teach yourself patience and allowing yourself to grow. Okay?
Any other questions on the pelvic expander?
And just know this, everyone. I will be doing an interview on Dean Saleo of Saleo Wellness on this Wednesday, and talking about his training.
And what about the length of time? How long for each leg? I think you
So
said.
you could do
30
10 to 15 minutes at the beginning, and then as you progress, you can work up to even 30 to 40 minutes each leg.
You want to stay there. Okay, here's, if I can say this. In North America, we do everything almost wrong. Most people are injured because they go to the gym. Believe it or not. Understand something. What we're doing here, Mary, do you find that the pain is going away in other places and you can feel it in other places?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because guess what? Things are opening up and it's like a domino effect. So guess what? In yoga even, we're taught that we'll get into a stretch, we'll feel that,
Yeah.
we'll feel the tightness, we'll breathe for a minute maybe, and we'll leave it. Guess what? You don't leave. You know what? You don't run from pain, you breathe into pain. Because consciousness is everywhere. Breathe into where the pain is, and the pain will leave. And guess what? That is the best exercise in the world.
Yep.
So you can either do yoga or go work out at the gym, or you can just lay around like this, put your leg up in the air, open up the holy grail, which is the pelvis, and get the energy to flow up through the spine and make everything work. Open up everything.
Well, and our breath is the most important thing. Like, we can't go long without breath, and also you lose weight more through breathing than anything else, right? So if we can really connect to our breath and just focus on these healing exercises and stretches, and when we're doing workouts, choosing the right ones, choosing the rebounding, the core twisting, the yoga, the stretching like this, and foam rolling, things like that are all going to create more of an aerobic environment and creating more oxygen flow throughout your whole body and moving that energy properly. So
And if I can say something, you will know when you are where you need to be, because you'll be able to put your leg up there, put the weight on, and be there for half an hour and nothing falls asleep. So the first few times when you do this, things are going to fall asleep, but guess what? Don't let them fall asleep. Have you never sat on your foot and your foot was asleep? You had to walk a little bit? Well, you're falling asleep in there because that's the block, the physical block that's blocking the energy. And that will eventually open. Why can't you be? We need to be patient. We need to breathe. All right.
So you can
You can
actually
let me
just,
switch
we're gonna
it.
just show how to switch it, just so that people see, so they don't strain anything when they take their leg down. So we'll bring this leg down on this side,
Okay.
and that way you can just kind
And
of,
we.
yeah. So we'll just bring that down
Okay.
lightly, get comfy.
Now know this though, that now I can put the weight on the end. I just pull my leg up.
Oh,
I-
Yeah, so I'm
I mean, I can do
assisting
that,
her,
girl.
because
Oh, I know you can, but what about all the rest of the people that can't?
so I'm assisting her right now.
Mary,
I
Dwight
have-
Contrary.
I have Mary's foot on my lap as I'm taking off the ankle weight, just to offer some support, or you could have a stool there. And then, slowly but surely, you're gonna bring this leg up and switch her.
And I'm sure there's a lot of imbalances, right? So when you have people on here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You see a lot of,
We'll help our clients with this, only for usually the first time. Sometimes we have to help them all the time, not all the time, if they're really, but you have to understand that when people come to us, they can come in with a cane and can't get down the stairs, but after the first treatment, they go up the stairs without the cane. Do you understand? And so understand that. And then people out there right now are listening and going, no way. And I'm saying, yeah, well, we'll offer you a money back guarantee. You're walking out on your own.
Okay, there we go. Switched up, and then you could do the whole body stretch again. And then one thing we will show when you do the whole body stretch you'll want to go from one side to the other. So leaning your whole body that way, like a,
You
yes.
just
Yeah, just
That's it, that's all you do.
Side
And
hip.
get those arms down though.
try to
Put,
bring them
put the
down.
arms down.
Oh,
No,
like,
yeah,
as
yeah.
far as you can. What I'll do too
They
sometimes is
won't go all
I'll,
the way down, but just
I'll
keep
bring my hand to
concentrating.
the outside of the table to like push my arm against it, like with this arm on the outside of the table.
Yeah,
to
drop
push
it on the
to
side.
Get a better stretch through the side.
Okay,
There you go.
How's that feel, Mary?
good. Feels really good.
And just breathe into it.
Are you gonna leave Abby a tip? Well, maybe not. Didn't sound so
Didn't
good.
sound like it.
Of course I will.
And then after that, you would come to the other side and do that stretch from the other way.
Okay.
Just like that. So you could break that up. You could do a straight upward stretch for 5 minutes if you're doing it for 15 minutes, and then 5 minutes either direction. Well, beautiful. Any other questions for anybody?
No, but we'll just leave her strapped up for the day because she wasn't gonna give me a tip.
We're gonna leave Mary here, and we're all gonna go.
That's right.
See you later, Mary. All right.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, everybody on Facebook and Instagram, for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Yeah,
Thank you. See you soon.
bye.